Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, what are repressed memories and are they real? So this is an interesting question submitted by a subscriber, and when we talk about the idea of repressed memories, we're talking about the defense mechanism repression. Repression is one of the defense mechanisms theorized by Sigmund Freud when he created psychoanalytic theory, which is a talk therapy modality. Now, in psychoanalytic theory, the ego regulates the unconscious drives of the id and the morals and societal values of the superego. And when it fails to regulate the id and the superego, sometimes defense mechanisms can be observed. One of the defense mechanisms is repression, and arguably it's the most important defense mechanism, because every defense mechanism has repression reflected in it in some way. So to understand repression, we have to understand the idea of the conscious, preconscious, and unconscious mind. So the conscious mind contains information that we're aware of right now. It's what we're thinking of right now. The preconscious mind stores more information than that. It's all the information that's in our memory that we have access to, but we're not thinking of that information right at the moment. So something that we can retrieve, information we can retrieve. The unconscious mind contains the most information, and it's information that we are not aware of. We can't retrieve it. We don't even know it's there. So with repression, what happens is frightening, painful memories or thoughts or unconscious drives that are unacceptable get pushed from conscious awareness or the preconscious mind to the unconscious mind. So by definition, someone cannot recall a repressed memory. They're not aware of it. That information is stored away securely in the unconscious mind. So it's clear that this is a difficult topic to study. There's no real way to structure a study that can see if that mechanism is really true, if information is really pushed from conscious awareness or from the preconscious mind into the unconscious. If someone can't be aware of a repressed memory, how can we really study it? So that's when we get into the issue of these repressed memories coming back. And this is really talking about the second part of the question, which is, are repressed memories real? There's a lot of division in the mental health treatment community about repressed memories. And one of the times where we see repressed memories most commonly in the popular culture would be an instance where somebody experienced a traumatic event when they were younger, and in therapy they recalled that event even though they had never recalled it at any time before. So that event occurred, that information went into their unconscious mind, and only came back up in therapy. Most therapists, according to research, believe that this phenomenon is true, around 70%. And most researchers don't believe it's true. Only around 15 to 30% believe that repressed memories are real in the way they're described by Freud, meaning that information moving to the unconscious mind and then being retrievable through a therapeutic process. Now, it's important to note, of course, that Freud did theorize both of those elements, that repression was real and that you could get at that repressed material through therapy. Of course, in the case of Sigmund Freud, it was psychoanalysis, the treatment that he invented. So as I mentioned, this area of repressed memories is difficult to study. There's no ethical way to create a study to see if repressed memories work in the way as they're described. However, there is anecdotal evidence. There are therapists that have observed incidents in therapy which appear to be the recollection of repressed memories. Now again, many scientists are skeptical of this. So we have this controversy, this debate over whether repressed memories are real or not. And if they are real, are they accurate? Can they be trusted? Now, of course, there are a number of alternative explanations to repressed memories. Somebody could simply have forgotten the material. That's fairly common. A therapist could have confirmation bias. They could believe that a trauma occurred, and they could only look for evidence that supports that and ignore evidence that would refute that. Also, sometimes with mental health treatment, there's this idea that something else is going on, that there's something more to the story. That's a common belief that we see in mental health therapy from the therapist point of view. meaning that simple explanations might sometimes be disregarded, and a more complex explanation may be favored. And this could again lead to suggestion. It could lead to the therapist bringing up and maintaining the idea of this repressed memory. We would consider this, of course, unintentional suggestion. And a lot of times when we look at the anecdotal evidence for repressed memories, we see that even in cases where a memory was recalled and then later on a client said that memory wasn't really accurate, at the time it was brought up, they honestly believed it. So this isn't a matter, with repressed memories anyway, of deception. This is an individual honestly believing that a repressed memory is accurate, that the events actually happened. Another alternative explanation is in the area of dreams. A lot of times in therapy, dreams are considered relatively important, and it's easy to take a dream and confuse it with the memory. And again, I'm talking about this on the therapist side. So this becomes another form of unintentional suggestion. Now, of course, just because there are some alternative explanations for some repressed memories doesn't mean that repressed memories aren't real. There's research that indicates that around 20 to 60% of individuals with a trauma history have periods of time that they don't remember. And of course, in theory, some of those periods of time could contain information that would qualify as a repressed memory and that could be recalled in therapy. So what do we do in a situation like this where science appears to say one thing and anecdotal evidence practitioners appear to believe something different? Well, unfortunately, there's no easy answer. Clearly, some memories, whether they're repressed memories or not, are accurate and some memories are inaccurate. And I think one of the problems here with repressed memories is there's no reliable way to distinguish an accurate repressed memory from an inaccurate repressed memory. So it just leaves us without enough information to know what to do. So even though this area is difficult to study, we do need some type of research that can be done ethically that can explore this topic further, because the ramifications of being incorrect on this topic are quite severe. We certainly don't want clients to bring up accurate memories and then those are dismissed, and we don't want them to bring up inaccurate memories and those are acted upon. So it puts us in a tough spot, and really there's only an unsatisfying answer to this question right now. I hope you found this description of repressed memories to be interesting. Thanks for watching.